The Gospel of Gita. A certain gentleman had asked a number of questions, expressed in our own language. They read as follows. The first question he asked: The Lord Krishna is the integral divinity. He has been spoken of God Himself. It is said that Krishna say Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, means he say that Krishna is the total God, no, as the supreme personality of God. Wherefore did the deity, an embodiment of the knowledge, draw the milk of the truth from the Upanishad? Why did he fall back upon him? Them. Second question: Was Krishna lacking in faith, like the modern lover of Gita? If he was endowed with faith, why was the Lord forced to fall back upon verbal testimony in order to convince him? And why was it necessary for him to reveal his cosmic form to him? Once Arjuna has attained the knowledge of Gita, how did he declare later on that he had forgotten the friendly discourse that Shri Krishna gave him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Are we to understand that Arjuna actually forgot the lesson that taught to him by the Lord? Fourth question. Being told this, Sri Krishna said, Arjuna, it was with a concentrated mind that I instructed you in that knowledge. Then I am now unable to repeat the discourse. Does this mean that the all knowing Lord had lost consciousness of the past so that he expresses inability to reproduce the things? Moreover, what is meant by one mind being concentrated? Fifth question. If it is accepted that Lord was really unable to reproduce the teaching of Gita, how would the sage Ved Vyas repeat it after several days? If the Gita represents the utterance of the Bhagavan Shri Krishna himself, how are we to construe the following word addressed by the Bhagavan Vyas to the deity Ganesha? O chief attendant of the Lord Shiva, pray accept the role of the scribe in respect to the work, the Mahabharata, which is going to be dictated by me, has been convinced by me. Since the Gita formed the part of Mahabharata, it is likewise a product of the mind of Sri Vyasa. Are all its verses his composition. Lekhako bhartasya bhava tvam gananayaka mayeva proktamanasya manasa kalpitasya cha. My replies to the above question are given seriatim below, forming part as they do of the holy Vedas. First question: which constitute the exhalation of the God? The Upanishad too has believed to be beginningless and immortal teaching of the Lord Himself. Upanishad is called. There was no question of the Lord falling back upon them. It was only with the view to exalting them in the estimation of the world that the Lord made use of them. Besides the language, the style of Upanishad being rather complicated, they are unintelligible to the generality of man. That is why, for the God of mankind, He extracted the essence of the Upanishad, gave it to the world in the nectarine form of Gita. In fact, the Upanishad and the Gita are the same in essence. There are no comparison between the Arjuna and the people of the modern times. Arjuna, while endowed with the extraordinary faith, was a great believer and beloved devotee of the Lord. The Lord Himself acknowledged that the fact following the word, You are the my devotee and friend, and you are very dear to me. You are dear to me, etc., etc. It was account of his love that his beloved friend Arjuna, the Lord always remained by his side. Nay, accepted the role of charioteer. At the call of the present day devotees, Lord does not appear even during their worship. Hence, one should not misled to think Arjuna is not equipped with the faith. As for the authority of the scripture, the Lord acquitted it that only in order to enhance the value of Veda and glorify them. Of course, Arjuna's faith was the main factor in revealing the Lord's cosmic form. Whatever Arjuna says in chapter 10 furnish ample testimony to the faith. He says, You are the supreme eternal, the ultimate resolve, the supreme purifier. All the seas speaks of you as the eternal divine person, the prime deity unborn and all pervading. Krishna, I believe that as true all that you tell to me. Lord, neither God or demon are aware of your manifestation through your Leela or sport. O creation of being, O ruler of creation, the Lord of God, the Lord of universe, O Supreme Purusha, You alone know the yourself through yourself. Arjuna faced 10 fully revealed in the above word. Arjuna, who thus knew and described the Lord Guruli, addressed him in the next discourse as follows. You are the precisely what you declare yourself to be, what you have started about yourself in the chapter at 10. But, O Supreme Person, I long to see with my own eyes your divine form endowed with wisdom, divine attribute, energy, potency, might, and brilliance. Arjuna was a great believer. He knew and recognized the glory of the Lord. That is why, through his supreme grace, he sought to behold his divine cosmic form. It is his wont to fulfill the desire of his devotee, hence it is that the Lord consented to reveal his cosmic form to the Arjuna. It is due to his faith the cosmic form was revealed to him, not with the view to engendering faith in him. The Lord himself say, I cannot reveal this form of mine to anyone else than one who is exclusively devoted to me. This cannot be seen through the study of Veda or sacrifices, or again through gift rituals and austere penances. Thus proved that Arjuna was endowed with the supreme faith, dependent on the Lord and a great devotee. The Lord had given below definition and fruit of exclusive devotion. He says, O Arjuna, he who performs all legitimate duties such as sacrifice, charity, penance, etc., for my sake considering everything as mine, and depend on me, that is to say, recognizing me as the supreme goal and supreme result in intent to attaining me, is devoted to me. Or in the other word, keep himself constantly engaging in hearing, contemplating, meditating upon, reciting and repeating to others. My name, virtues, glory, and miseries with love and with disinterested spirit is devoid of attachment. That is, has no attachment for wife, children, wealth, and other worldly objects, and harbor no ill will against any living being. Such an exclusive devotee of mine undoubtedly attained me. Arjuna has particularly treasured up the teaching on devotion in the shape of self surrender, along with the gospel of disinterested action as the principal lesson intended to him. Relying on the word of Lord, we consider it to be the most esoteric of all teaching. He regards the gospel of self enlightenment as secondary to self surrender. Means that self enlightenment is secondary. First is to surrender. Had accordingly paid scant attention to the same. On the occasion to Arjuna asked nothing about the most esoteric gospel of self surrender. It was fresh in his memory. This is why the God reminded him that he instructed him in the secret wisdom and revealed to him in the eternal truth. White Mahabharata. The word Vuham, secret, used by the Lord in the context also confirmed the same view. What the Lord actually reported about reproving him for the inattention did not contain anything about disinterested action or self surrender expounded in the Gita. He simply reproduced the teaching about the self enlightenment which has slipped Arjuna memory. Shri Taswamaya Goham Gyapitacha Sanatanam. The fact about the Lord pleaded inability to reproduce his teaching does not mean that he was really unable to do so or that he had forgotten it. It is altogether unreasonable to imagine this is the case of the Lord who is embodiment of truth, knowledge and bliss. The Lord's intention was to glorify the path of self enlightenment. The master rebukes his discipline for having failed to retain in his mind the lofty teaching he has imparted to him. The gospel of self enlightenment was not such the commonplace as could be communicated for one's mere asking. His inability, therefore, only meant for his unwillingness to impart such a lofty teaching to one who is so attentive of Uddaka, Daduchi, Sattakama. Other sages, it is believed to be they imparted spiritual knowledge only once. Spiritual knowledge is a thing which has to be imparted to a fit recipient only once, not twice. That is why Lord tell Arjuna that he committed a great blunder in forgetting the gospel of spiritual knowledge. So spiritual knowledge is only known by the one to be taught. Therefore, the difference of the Arjuna intense desire, the Lord instructed him once again in that knowledge. Had Lord no idea about it, how could he impart it to the Arjuna again? By Yoga Ukta, he only meant that he has imparted the knowledge to him with a concentrated mind in that time. Thereby, he told him in a reproving way that he could not repeat it him over and over again with the same concentration of mind. He could ill afford to repeat it over and over again so that he would conveniently forget it each time. Such a behavior was not becoming of a man like Arjuna, as the same amounted to a disparagement of the holy Brahmavidya. The Lord has also thus taught the world through Arjuna that a lesson of spiritual knowledge should be listened to with a rapt attention, that the teacher should impart it to the fit person only who may able to assimilate it the moment he hears. Even though Arjuna was not eligible for instruction in spiritual knowledge, he was qualified only for receiving instruction in self surrender, accompanied by disinterested action. It was therefore he was instructed in accumulating gospel of self surrender. Thus, in the most historic of all teaching, the Lord was perfectly justified in taking him to a task for having forgotten his teaching. A dedicated soul should never forget what is taught by this beloved deity. Thus, but this should not lead to believe that eligibility for instruction in spiritual knowledge is in self surrender, coupled with disinterested action. When the fruit of both is the same, neither is superior or inferior. Saint Arjuna was the man with disinterested action alone was suitable for him. That the Lord was capable of repeating everything is clear to the above expositions. Bhagavan Vyasa was a great yogi. He came to know everything with the help of his occult power and repeated what he had actually heard and seen. It is no wonder that he should have done so when his yogic power, even Sanjay was unable to attain this transcendental vision. 6. The word addressed by Vyas to Ganesha, as quoted above, only meant that while he reproduced some dialogue as they actually took place, he composed other in his own language and devoted them in the book. Out of the verses spoken by the Lord to Arjuna, he reproduced some word for the word, some word to the word, while some of the prose talk he versified and filled up the gap of relating the story. Of course, the word described by the reaction on the mind of Sanjay, Duryodhana, Arjuna, and Dhritarashtra are Vyasa's own composition. This should not, however, lead one to believe that the work in mere fiction, knowing everything that is yogic power, he has written actual history.